Hello, welcome back. What I did is off camera, I cut two pieces of cabinet grade plywood. They're 48 inches long. This one is 8 inches wide. Or I'm sorry, this one is 7 and 9/16 wide, and this one is 8 inches. And I'm going to put these at right angles. If you'll look, I accurately measured and drilled these holes on both ends. Those are for these bearings. See the holes? They're going to slide on this rail, and they're going to slide on that rail over there. But before I glue this up and screw it, I needed to locate and drill those holes. So something else I did is, because this board is going to be screwed to this one where it's glued, I am also going to have to put screws into this to hold the two together, as well as I'm going to put some vertical pieces in. So something else I did is I marked these holes where this rail is going to screw into there, because I don't want conflicting screws. So those are the couple things that I did off camera. Now again, something else that you need to do, you need to check everything for square. You need to make sure your holes are square. Now there'll be some adjustment as we go along, but the more accurate you are now, the easier it will be to fine-tune the CNC once we get it built. But this is going to be the x-axis. That's the one that's going to go crosswise on the machine. So let's get this assembled. Okay, that went well. I struggled there for a few minutes, but we got through it. If you notice, everything's nice and square. I lightly sanded these to make sure there's no there's no protrusions or anything sticking up. This is where this rail is going to go, and then the other rail is going to go here. I've got them 1.5 inches in from this end. And the reason for that is this is the drive mechanism, okay? And what I'm wanting is this to be centered. The travel needs to be centered in the working area. If I get it one way or the other, then the edge will be in the way. So I might look at this. I might go that way a little bit more with it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the Z-axis, which I've got this plate. This plate's going to go on these like this. The Z-axis is going to go on here. This little piece is going to go in on the bottom. And this is going to have some adjusters in it. And that's going to help us when we do our alignment. To get everything put together and we start assembling. So, looking good. Okay, off camera, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drill this. It's going to be the same thing. If you recall, I drilled those holes. I marked and drilled them precisely. I need to do the same for this. And that's what's going to determine how wide this rail is going to be. Okay? Now, something I mentioned to you, in the beginning I said, even now I'm going to say something that's very crucial again, is precision. When you're putting this together, you saw me checking with a square and so on. I cut all these pieces beforehand and I ran a square over them to make sure they were all perfectly square. And these braces, these gussets that I put in here, that assures that it'll stay square. What that allows me to do, that gives me this factory edge of this plywood down here on this edge. I can align this first rail to it, and because these bearings are going to be sitting here, and this carriage is going to be sitting on top of it, the carriage should be parallel to the table, and that's going to be very important when we go to line it in our Z-axis, because we have to line it in 2 directions, forward and reverse. You know, this way, and then we have to line it this way as well. So that's getting this good and square, and so that the rail runs square is key. Okay, catch you on the next one.